Welcome to Yury Experience, and today I want to talk to you about saying the opposite. I think each and every one of us participated in some kind of discussion at some point of their life. It is normal to discuss stuff with people. Some people don't like to do it, other people really enjoy doing it. But it doesn't matter, still most of us had to participate at least in one discussion in our whole life. And almost every time it develops itself in one of the two ways. Either you agree with each other or you don't agree with each other. Today I want to talk about one of the methods how to lead a discussion, how to discuss stuff, which I use quite a lot, and I'm literally not sure whether it is a good thing or whether this method is a good method or whether it is bad. And today I want to talk to you about telling your conversational partner the opposite of what that person expects. Doesn't matter whether you agree with that or not. Let's talk about it a little bit more. But before we start, I'm Yury, this is Yury Experience, and here I'm talking about different things, different topics, different experiences of myself and of other people. And yes, I do 2 videos per week, Mondays and Thursdays. If you will enjoy this video, please drop a like, it will help the development of the channel. Also, you can subscribe to the channel because this channel is cool, in my personal opinion, at least. Now let's go back. When I'm saying that I like to tell the opposite thing, I literally mean the opposite thing. Since I am kind of centristic person, I don't really go to one of the sides of the conversations as long as I don't have a really strong opinion about that. And I have strong opinions, but basically strong opinions about being centristic. Doesn't matter. So yes, overall I'm a centristic person. I'm more or less in the middle. I see perks and I see benefits and bad sides of one side of that problem and of the opposite side of the problem. That makes it kind of easy for me to manipulate my opinion in that moment in such a way that I disagree with the opponent, with the person who I'm talking to. A good thing, it makes the conversation a little bit more interesting. You manage to get more information from the person. You provoke the person. How you don't understand, and how can you still be the opposite opinion? And that person will provide you so much more knowledge, which you will not get if you will just say, yes, I agree. Is it a good thing? It may be annoying. I think it may be annoying for some people that some people are always disagreeing. That is why, in my personal opinion, you shall not always just stay in the opposite opinion. Give people some agreement too, because then people will discuss matters with you after that too. Otherwise, people will start ignoring you because that person always disagrees, doesn't matter who he is talking to. I don't want to talk to that person anymore. That's what will happen if you will disagree all the time. But recently I understood that sometimes I go way too far in my personal opinion. I go to the opposite opinion of that person and I go to the opinion that I disagree with. And I try to protect that opinion in some way. And it's the wrong thing in my personal opinion, which is why I'm working on myself, so I have this thing under control. So I control how much in the opposite direction do I go. Whether I just go a little bit, how far can I go? Do I really understand the opposite position, and can I protect it fairly to both positions, to my position, to the opponent's position, to position of that group, to everybody, because I want to provide good information, I want to provide qualitative information, and I want to provide some value for discussion. And if I'm just throwing with some not based on opinions or some opinions that I don't really support myself, then I don't help the discussion, I don't help anybody at all. Let's make an example from my real life. I had a conversation with a good friend of mine about radical left, and I told that person that I'm against radical left, which is my true position. I'm standing to that position. And then that person provided opinions or like some statements that supported that person's opinions, that radical left is not as bad and whatnot. And at some point I went from I don't support radical left to I understand why radical right exists, and I understand why right exists, not even radical but just right. And I know that this terminology is completely flawed and very bad, but I hope you understand what I'm talking about. It is basic political bad terminology. I will be talking about that in some of my future videos. Anyway, yes, I understand why right exists, and that is still more or less my opinion. Although I don't support political right, I do understand why political right exists. But there was this really dangerous border where I almost started to support some of the radical right and right opinions. And it is not something that I usually support. I support some of the right opinions, but none of radical right, and I mean it will be difficult for me. I am a freaking immigrant and I am a Jew, and yeah, there are a lot of problems with the concepts, which is why I almost started to go away from what I support to something that I don't support, just so I can continue the conversation, continue the discussion, and bring the other person to providing me more value. And that is a bad thing in my personal opinion. That is the point where I go wrong. That is the point where, because of some my character trait, character trait, yeah, I think I can call it like that. Just because of that, I'm starting to talk nonsense, in my personal opinion. So I tell something that I don't support. I tell something that is nonsense in my opinion, but I still tell it as if it is some good opinion or as if it is truth. That is bad. Why I decided to talk about that? First reason, and the most obvious one, there are more people than only me who has this character trait, who will just go against your opinion, doesn't matter what. That person just wants to be against it. Maybe that person doesn't like you, maybe that person likes to have discussions, I don't know, but there are enough people who do it like that. Is it a good thing? I don't know. In my personal opinion, even this character trait, even this kind of behavior shall be under control of the user. So if I have this kind of behavior, I shall control it. This behavior shall not control me. That is why I discuss this problem of going overboard, of losing the control, of saying something that you don't support. If you go as far, then maybe you should work on yourself. Maybe you should even destroy this character trait, work on this character traits. Think about whether you should try to avoid using it. Sometimes it is something that you need to do. And second point, this was the first one, second point, practically same opinion, or same opinion you can hold when we are talking about any other character trait. Sometimes your character traits will be destructive for conversation, for your life, for life of other people, doesn't matter. And if you recognize it, instead of saying it will work out at some point, or instead of just letting it be, maybe think about how you can work on it. Maybe ask for help, maybe ask some specialists for help. Do it. It can and will help you to make yourself better. Yeah, and that is important. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please drop a like, please subscribe, and except for that, I see you on Monday. Have a nice weekend.